Watching the new Bluey Minisode surely helped to alleviate some of the longing for the Blue Dog cartoon.
Oh man, I'm starving. I need to eat something.
Oh no, Bandit.
But did you catch all the details and Easter eggs hidden in the first batch of 6 minisodes of the series? For instance, in the first minisode called Burger Dog, we see that while Bandit is resting, he is reading a newspaper. And if you remember well, whenever possible, the creators of Bluey like to pay homage to Australian athletes, as happened in the episode Surprise, where Australia's real sprinter was honored in the race Bandit was watching. And we notice the same thing happens here because on the cover of the newspaper, we can see a tennis player in the spotlight. This is a reference to Ashley Barty, the most successful tennis player in recent Australian history, who even reached #1 in the world rankings. And if there's one thing the folks who work on Bluey love, it's tennis. So this reference is definitely something they enjoy doing. And they love it so much that one of the Easter eggs that cannot be missed in Bluey are the famous tennis balls. And in this minisode, they appear not once, but twice. The first one is in the picture behind Bandit on the living room wall, and the second is exactly on the newspaper cover where we can see the dog version of Ashley Barty. These are just a few of the details and Easter eggs we found in Bluey's minisodes to show you today. This Burger Dog minisode is definitely one of my favorites. That's because I absolutely love that song, even though Bandit didn't like it one bit. The interesting detail is that when we see Bluey's dad from a top-down angle, we can see the image representing the song on his phone, and we can see that it's really a dog shaped like a burger. So now it makes sense that the song is called Burger Dog. Thank goodness, because I thought it would be a mix of a burger and a hot dog. Still in the same minisode, when Bingo has the brilliant idea to call for help from her mom, we see that Chili calls Bandit's phone to expose him, since he was lying to the girls claiming his phone had run out of battery. The detail is that when Bluey's dad receives the call, we can see the contact name, but we notice that Chili's name is written backward, like in a mirror, which is pretty strange as there's no mirror in the scene. One thing that appears quite frequently in Bluey are references to unicorns. One of them happens in the episode Markets, when the Blue Dog and Indy try to spend the $5 the protagonist has and then try to ride the ponies there. We can see that one of the small horses is disguised as a unicorn. And later, we can't forget about Unicorse, that naughty puppet who appears in 2 episodes of the show.
I know. Unicorse, what's your favorite food?
Children.
Oh.
So, we recall all this just to tell you that in the Bingo 3000 minisode, we can see a book with a unicorn on its cover in the Healer family's furniture. It could be a reference to both Unicorse and the pony from the Markets episode. In fact, we'll have more references to Unicorse in the minisodes to tell you about soon. Do you love cartoons, especially Bluey, just like I do? Imagine having Bluey and Bingo right in your home, ready to play with you. Or how about creating your own Bluey through painting in this delightful coloring book? And don't miss out on the best part, the Scavenger Hunt game, an incredible board game that I'm sure you'll enjoy as much as we do at Cinewave. If you've fallen in love with any of these, simply click the link in the pinned comment to get yours and have it delivered straight to your door. In this same episode, it's more than evident that Bandit is completely obsessed with sports. This becomes clear when in Bingo 3000, we see him once again reading a newspaper while sitting, and on one of the covers, there's a random dog holding a rugby ball, one of Australia's most popular sports. Meanwhile, take a good look at the cover of the magazine that Chili is reading. This is the very same magazine that the girl's mom was reading in the episode Hungry. While Bandit was pretending to eat the kids, we see Chili holding a magazine with the exact same cover, indicating that this might be one of her favorite magazines to read. In this same short episode, we noticed a very interesting detail that we're going to share with you. But first, let's recap the story a bit. Bandit starts a game that Chili simply hates. He pretends that he's so hungry that he's going to eat the kids, and it ends up with Bluey, who is in the living room. Then we see the dad adding spices, pretending to swallow Bluey, and then having indigestion and vomiting her onto Bingo, who shows up afterward. That said, this entire minisode is totally related to one of the funniest episodes and one of the most annoying characters in the series, Unicorse. That's because, if you remember well, when Bluey asks the puppet what his favorite food is, he stares at the blue dog and answers, "Children." So eating children seems to be something Unicorse would do.
I'm just gonna eat one of the kids.
And to prove this reference, the show itself makes it clear that the game is totally connected to the crazy puppet. When the minisode Hungry begins, we see Bluey drawing something, but we can't quite make out what it is. But as the show progresses, we can see from the paper on the floor that it's a unicorn, meaning exactly what Unicorse is, proving the connection between the puppet episode and the Minisode. This makes it clear that everything in Bluey is really done with the smallest details in mind. Another small detail we can notice in the Minisode is the reason why Bandit was hungry. If we look at the clock in the background of the Healer family's living room, we can see that the time is around 11:43, which is very close to noon, the conventional lunchtime around the world. This explains why the game makes even more sense, as Bandit can tell the girls that if they don't eat everything, he might just gobble them up. Oh, before I forget, we can't leave out the Easter egg that appears in almost every episode and is under the living room furniture, the tennis ball. There it is once again! Now talking about the Minisode letter. We see that Bluey's dad's artistic skills haven't improved much since he was 5 years old. Right on the corner of the letter that his mom found and showed to the girls, we can see the drawing of the protagonist of the story, which is himself. This drawing looks a lot like the one Bandit himself did in the episode Dragon, when he was telling why he stopped drawing at age 6 because a classmate, Bucky, said he drew poorly. And if you're wondering, yes, it's the same Bucky, the real estate agent who almost sold the Healer's house in the episode The Sign. And if you've made it this far, here's a tip for you. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to our channel now so you don't miss our next videos about Bluey and other movies and cartoons. In the course of Bandit's letter story, he talks about a bird his mom gave him that seems to be a budgie or parrot. The detail is that the bird's name is Conan. And if you remember well, you'll recall that Bandit and his siblings grew up, as he says, in the crazy 80s, as seen in the episode Fairy Tale. Back then, in the 80s, one of the most famous movies was Conan the Barbarian, starring the superstar Arnold Schwarzenegger. This shows that the bird's name is probably because the boys watched and liked the movie, proving that all the stories in Bluey are interconnected. Now, talking about the Minisode Muffins unboxing, we noticed some pretty cool details in it as well. The first one is that now we understand why Bluey's cousin has so many new and different toys, like the race car the girls use in the episode Pizza Girls. Also, in the episode Silent Game, Bandit needs to buy a present for his niece, and it has to be one she doesn't have. This is because she has a collection of toy unicorns, which we now know are from her channel and the toys she gets to unbox and show in her videos. This shows that the episodes are indeed interconnected, as we mentioned before. Regarding Muffin's profession, it seems to be a reference to the Ryan's World channel by young Ryan Kaji, who for many years was the highest paid YouTuber on the platform, earning millions of dollars annually. Although today the boy's channel covers many things, initially it was just about him unboxing presents or reviewing toys, which is basically the same thing Muffin does. This also somewhat explains why Stripe's family has a slightly higher standard of living than the Healers. After all, if Muffin's earnings are similar to Ryan's, they must be making good money with their YouTube content. In the episode Pizza Girls, for instance, we see Stripe show off his new car to the Healers, indicating that money is not an issue. In the Minisode, we also noticed a pretty interesting Easter egg. In the background, on the bulletin board in the video recording area, we see an image of the favorite cartoon in Bluey's universe, the Cat Squad. This is the same cartoon we see the girls watching whenever they can. If we look a bit to the side, we'll see on the shelf another toy which is several plastic monkey heads. This seems to be a reference to the series of movies Chunky Chimp, which is also very popular in the Bluey universe and among the other kids in the show. If you don't remember, it's the movie that Bluey, Bandit, and Bingo go to watch at the cinema. This shows that everything in Bluey has a reason to appear. These were the details and Easter eggs we found in the first batch of 6 out of 20 Bluey Minisodes that will be released this year. While we wait for the next ones, check out these very cool videos that are appearing on your screen now. Click on the one you prefer, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks!